batting for the Jamaican people each and every day. We try our best. It's not easy. It's a rough road, you know. The job sitting behind this microphone here to bring a credible and informed program to you each morning that I'm here. It takes a lot, I can tell you that much. You know, it keep you up at various hours of the night, keep you thinking throughout the day, and you know, your mind, your brain have to be engaged throughout the time that you're on air. And before you come on air, it takes you at least twice the amount of time that you exert here to prepare for the program. So please, we never ever take what we do here for granted. Welcome to your program, Straight Up. I'm Conrad O'Brien. Again, they call me the fireman. And of course, we burns. It's Monday, the 5th day of the 5th month. That's the 5th of May, 2025. So the fives are in vogue today. The fives are certainly in vogue. And we're coming to you live from the studios here at Newstalk 93 FM, right here at UWI Mona campus in the parish of St. Andrew, Jamaica. The numbers to call are 876-212-9824. 876-462-0919. And indeed, to listen to us on your smartphones and device, we invite you to go to the Apple or Google Play Store and download the Newstalk 93 FM app. We also stream live via www.newstalk93fm.net. Go follow us and the various other outfit that we broadcast. And today, being a Monday, we are partnering with our friends at Fit FM 96.7 on the FM band out of Trelawney, and indeed blanketed the entire Western Jamaica. You can also join them on the and www.fitfm.ja.com. All right. Sorry for that bundling there. Also, we carried live on the Wayne Hall Network and, of course, Caribbean Vibe Radio. This morning, we'll also be joined by Make We Talk YouTube channel. That one is basically operated by Jeffrey Tavares. So a lot of offering there. And indeed, we're up on the Conrad OB TikTok page. So lots of offering there. You know, we have a host of people all across these platforms listening. And indeed, you can join us on the 93 FM band. Getting some calls that we are having some issues with our 93 FM band on the radio. So don't know if it's everywhere, but certainly we have been getting some complaint on that. And I'm hoping that the powers that be here will ensure that we get those going. As a matter of fact, I've gotten some calls from some of our advertisers and sponsors on it. So let's see if we can get those up and running. You know, these people are concerned because they spend their little money here and there. So they want to ensure that everything is up and running. All right. So what I can say from my end here, our end, is that once we get the complaint, we'll try and deal with them. So I just mentioned those. All right. So stick and stay with me for the next 3 hours or so of the program. And let me remind you quickly that to advertise with us, please call our sales agent at 876-427-9955. You can also send us an email at our sales department at newstalk93fm.com. I'm smiling this morning because, you know, the word egregious is certainly in vogue this morning. All right, so welcome to your program, your mid-morning number one fix, right here in radio straight up with yours truly, Conrad O'Brien, the fireman. And of course, I want to start this morning by really and truly hailing up those fine people that I was with yesterday in Northeast St. Elizabeth. And indeed, they made me feel very, very welcome. And, you know, these are very, very good gauge to see your, for what it's worth, your popularity on the ground, you know. And trust me, each time that I go out, it shows that right here at Newstalk 93 FM on the other various platforms that I'm on, I'm well recognized. And thanks for the recognition and thanks for the commendation that I have, you all have been given to me whenever you happen to see me on the street. And yesterday in Waterloo, down there in Santa Cruz, at the Waterloo Apostolic Church. That church is pastored by host pastor and Bishop Scott, you know, very, very fine gentleman and his team there, you know, to all the other visiting friends that we met there yesterday. You know, they made me very, very welcome, as I said. And indeed, that fine young lady, you know, she sat here with me in studio as my co-host for about 2 years or so, where we hosted the feature called Legally Speaking. I'm talking about none other than attorney at law Zalika Jess, who is offering herself down there in Northeast St. Elizabeth as the candidate. And it's very, very instructive to know that during the last local government election in 2024, her constituency of all of those in Region 5 basically won that her constituency by the largest margin. She took home 3 out of 4 seats down there in Northeast St. Elizabeth, and had it been a general election, she would have taken home the seat by about 1,900 plus votes or so. So all in all, I want to hear you guys up very, very bigly this morning. To all the teachers from St. Elizabeth Technical High School and all the other schools that were at the service yesterday. And I can tell you, the anointing was certainly in the place. You know, we saw tears came to a lot of faces there and so on and so forth. And I'm happy that it wasn't just the launch of a campaign, because what happened, Jess decided that, listen, she's launching her campaign and she believed that the place to start is at the church, and she could never pick a more fitting church than the Waterloo Apostolic Church down there in Waterloo, Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth. And, you know, as I said before, it wasn't just, say, a political scenario or launch there, but we went to real church yesterday. You know, you could feel the powerful anointing of Jesus Christ bestowed upon all of us inside that place yesterday. So I want to give thanks once again and really want to celebrate that. Now, it's 20 minutes after 9 o'clock on the wall. Welcome to another edition of my opening commentary, my editorial piece, Conrad's Take. And this morning, I really want to look at a few things. And for me, the man at the helm, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, he is continue, in my view, to be in the firing line, so to speak, because he has been given the job of Prime Minister, where he is presiding over the affairs of Jamaica for the last 9 years on the trot. The Prime Minister, from time to time, shift gear based on what is happening and what suits him. And the latest that we're hearing from the Prime Minister is that he is moving away from discussing the poor and so on. he has basically changed the narrative as it relates to prosperity. But Mr. Prime Minister, I want to say to you that not so fast, because indeed, where you started in 2016, the people have not moved from there. As a matter of fact, the people are worse off today than they were in 2016. And if you have any doubt in that, Mr. Prime Minister, just look at your own chart that you would have presented in the budget debate, where poverty moved, or poverty certainly increased from where it was 2016 versus 2025. That is what the people are grappling with. I'll give you another case in point, Mr. Prime Minister. Just take up back that same basket that you had in 2016 when you were all over the place on the campaign trail. And you took that basket everywhere you went, primarily in Parliament. At the time, it was $4,000 to fill that basket. And I challenge you, I dare you to take that basket with the same content in there in the Parliament now, and the $16,000 or the $15,000 that is now being paid as minimum wage. I commend to you, Mr. Prime Minister, that it can't buy the stuff that was in that basket in 2016. Therefore, for you to be asking the people to give you a third term when the lots of our people are worse off, then I think you're on very, 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 very sticky ground. Very sticky ground. As a matter of fact, somebody is saying he's indeed on a slippery slope. And that seems to be the case. You know, so it's going to be interesting going forward to see how the Prime Minister wiggle himself out of this conundrum that he found himself in. And, you know, the whole business of the index where we are on the press freedom in Jamaica, we have seen where those numbers were revealed last week, and Jamaica have certainly slipped. And this morning I was listening elsewhere because, as I said to people all the while, that I personally, I listen and read widely, because to do the business that we do here, in my view, to be credible and to make sense, you want to hear a wider view as possible, right? It's not an insular position that one should take. And this morning, when I heard a particular commentary, and, you know, that person referred to Damien Crawford as a gimmicks politician. And I was saying how sad it is, because Damien Crawford is one of the most thoughtful politicians that we have here in Jamaica. Obviously, he is mindful of the political stage that he would be on from time to time. So he bring a lot of, you know, the things that the ordinary man, the average person, can basically interface with, and you may find it amusing. You may find it amusing. The latest that he made popular, or as the old say, he did not originate it, but he certainly made it popular, is things like what can go so. But when you drill down into it, the bill, the Teaching Council bill, which I am going through with a fine-tooth comb, and of course, the JTA called an emergency meeting this morning because they have a lot of issues with the bill in its present form, and certainly the PNP, through its point man, Damien Crawford, have been basically, you know, highlighting all of those ills and so on and so forth. And indeed, from my cursory glance at the bill so far, it seems as if it's wished to criminalize teachers in so much ways. And it need to be really, really looked at. I think there are about 34 or 36, you know, amendment that has been pointed out in the bill in its current form. We heard from the Minister of Education, Dr. Dixon, and she said that, listen, she is not in any hurry to pass the bill. Is that really so? Well, we await that, because as it is in its present form, it would make teachers worse off than they are now. And I dare say, if it should pass in its current form, it could really drive more and more teachers from our classroom. And you know that we are already suffering from that deficit and also the problem of migration of our teachers. So we urge the government of the day to really take a real look, and we want to commend the opposition spokesman and the opposition People's National Party for the stand that they have been taking on this bill, and to say, no, you can't pass the bill in its form, because certainly it would make our teachers worse off, and it would be most onerous on them when you look at the other provision for other professional, i.e. lawyers, doctors, and so on in Jamaica. So we hope that those things will be taken into consideration. And, you know, we are tracking this one. We are waiting. And I have share a concern. And we have to basically reach the point to know that here what happened. In order to basically speak truth to power, we don't have to basically twin the situation as it relates to the council bill, the teaching council bill, right? Right now, is the government of the day is putting that forward. The opposition basically pointed out a lot of ills and so on. So for the JTA president, Mr. Smith, to be saying that, listen, both of you and Prince all are over this and so on. I don't know why he would have gone there, because the opposition certainly out there on the side of the teachers and say, no, not at all. We can't put this bill forward out there because our teachers will be worse off. And you know, we're watching it. We're watching that. There are some other things that I wish to talk about as it relates to the situation with the police force, the body-worn camera, and so heard the commissioner this morning, and certainly I haven't heard anything more comforting that give me any more comfort than where we were as we have the concern as it relates to the body-worn cameras. That's Conrad's take.
Jamaica, vote power, don't vote for Labour, they don't care about poor people, they make we suffer. Jamaica, vote for power, market care, so we're voting today and we're voting forever. Jamaica, vote power. Jamaica, vote power. Vote for power, market care, so we're voting today and we're voting forever. Jamaica, vote power. Jamaica.
If you call it in May, you're going to get a beating. If you call it in June, you're going to get a beating.
At
If you call it in July, you're going to get a beating. If you call it in August, you're going to get a beating. And if you call it in September, we're going to give you a political backsliding Congress. Congress, the next thing that I want to point out to you is that in 2022, our comrade leader said to me that he's going to assign me the portfolio of housing and sustainable living.
At 8 in the morning on.
And he said your mandate is to ensure that you come up.
The truth of it, the truth which can never be contested, is that they had no intention of becoming a republic. Check the facts. I see some of you on social media. I know you read. I know you watch the videos. When the Constitutional Reform Committee was established in 2023 and had its first meeting on March 22nd.
Straight up right here at Newstalk 93 FM. It is indeed Monday, the 5th day of the 5th month, 5th of May 2025, in the year of our Lord. We're coming to you live from the studios of Newstalk 93 FM right here at Broadcast House at the University of the West Indies. And indeed, we come to you live on the 93 FM band. You can also go to the Apple or Google Play Store and download the Newstalk 93 FM app. It's a Monday, so we have many partners with us this morning. We come to you live also with our partners Fit FM, JA.com, and they're on the 96.7 FM band down there in Western Jamaica. And we're also on the Caribbean Vibes Radio and indeed the Wayne Hall Network. We're up as well, and the Make We Talk YouTube channel with Jeffrey Tavares, and also on the Conrad OB TikTok page. This morning, at this time, our guest this morning is none other than medical doctor, Dr. Alfred Dawes. He is indeed the spokesperson for the People's National Party. He is opposition spokesman and health, and he's a general doctor that, deal with the whole business of weight loss and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let me get to my guest online, opposition spokesman and health, Dr. Alfred Dawes, who is from a lineage of medical professions, his father and certainly siblings. So obviously they took appreciably to the sciences when they were in school. Hi, Doc, how are you doing?
Hey, good morning, and good morning to all the listeners.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot, and good morning on their behalf, too. Doc, yesterday I journeyed to St. Elizabeth and, to support one of your colleagues who is my very, very good friend. Everybody knows she sat here in studio with me for quite a while during the feature called Legally Speaking, Zalika Jess. So she launched her campaign yesterday with a church service, and I went there to give her some support and just do a bit of coverage there. And I can tell you, it was just amazing. The people are certainly in love with her, and the church was an atmosphere of anointing, and really you could feel the energy going through, so, and she did ask me to give you her regard.
Definitely. I mean, I'll always have time for Zalika, and looking forward to supporting her. I kind of grounded now for the next month in the constituency with all of the conferences going on, because we have a 6-a-side football competition in all the divisions, so that's spending some time in the constituency with that, so I
Good.
can't really give too much of myself outside. But when the time comes,
Absolutely, because she has also adopted that principle in the main. I think a lot of candidates are doing that while you're supporting each other, but you have to basically protect your own base, so to speak.
have to win your own seat.
Yeah, yes, indeed. So that said, Doc, a lot of things are happening in the healthcare sector here, not in a positive way, and you have been raising a lot of issues. Certainly recently we saw where the theaters were basically at ground zero down there at the KPH. We also note the problem at the Bustamante Children's Hospital. We note the massive overspend at Cornwall Regional and so on. And last but not least, certainly another issue that is certainly right here, front and center in the public domain, is that drill that from all accounts, and I must say that we had raised it here with Senator Brown some time ago, and I'm happy to see that you are not letting it go, Dr. Dawes. So let's start from the general concern within the health sector, and then we can move to the drill.
Well, I don't know if you're aware that KPH has shut down back the theaters again.
I wasn't aware.
Yeah, so the same thing we warned about.
Hold on, Doc. Just stick a pin there. You're saying that the announcement that we heard from the minister just recently that the theaters were up and running, you're saying that they are now back down again?
There has been a report of noxious fumes in the emergency department and the operating theater, and it has affected staff who are seeking treatment, as I am told, and they have again evacuated the area.
Wow!
It's unfortunate because this was a concern that we had when we had said that they were rushing to bring the staff back in without having proper air quality testing, but we were dismissed as being political. It's unfortunate for the staff that they're the ones who have to suffer, and we don't know how it has impacted patients as well.
But this is big,
because of this.
This is big, Doc. Sorry to be interjected, but this is big because I'm sure that a certain amount of money would have been spent to bring those back into use, and you're saying that you raised the concern about the haste and have concern as to whether or not it was done properly, and you were somewhere dismissed in a way that you were being political, but here you are being proven right?
Unfortunately, yes, that's the situation right now where they're having air quality issues.
Go ahead, Doc. Talk to us.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is that they really tried to rush the reopening of the theater because we had raised an alarm that this would have been Cornwall 2.0. And in so doing, they basically forced the staff to come back in without a proper vetting of the facility and getting air quality tests completed. And here we are, the same things that we're concerned about. And this is not a matter of saying, I told you so. It's just unfortunate that the concerns that were raised were dismissed, and it's the staff who are suffering because of it.
Dr. Dawes, you are not just a spokesperson on health. You're a practitioner. You understand this business. We are witnessing what is taking place down there in Cornwall, at Cornwall Regional, for a number of years. And here we are now at KPH, which is the major trauma center, and where, we have so many surgeries and so on to be carried out. What this means now, compounding what is taking place down there in the Western Belt and now in Kingston. Talk to my listeners what this means for persons who are seeking healthcare, emergency, and certainly what you call other surgery when people make time before surgeries that have been scheduled. What this means for them?
Elective surgery.
Elective surgery, yes.
It's an evolving situation, and it's too early to tell, but there was a severe displacement and a backlog of cases when it was closed recently. I don't know how they're going to manage it now because again, I don't know if it is a case where they're going to be having a prolonged closure, or this is something that can be addressed in short order. But overall, the healthcare sector, we have been warning about it, because it's not just to pounce at every development. A lot of times I get complaints from doctors, nurses, users of the service, that things are not the way they should be, whether it's deaths, issues with getting investigations, prolonged waiting time, and so on. But it's all painting a picture of a collapsing health service. And every time we raise the concerns, it's dismissed as being political and gaslighting and political mischief. So I think it's now for the journalists like yourself, proper investigative journalists, to go out and ferret out the truth. We have raised the alarm. The facts are there, and independent parties just need to go in and let the people know that this is the case. I think I've spoken quite a bit on it already, and I said that I was going to kind of dial back and focus on my constituency, and just leave it up to the independents, call it auditors, the fourth estate, to ferret out the truth and see who is telling the truth. Is it me being overzealous? Is it me being hyperbolic, as was stated? Is it me creating political mischief? Or is there a serious crisis that's going on, as what patients are saying?
Okay, so it's quite important, Doc, for we to have the truth and nothing but the truth being exposed there. And it would suit a government, any government. You're hoping that you will be in government in short order. So it will suit any government to basically listen and not trying to hide behind a bushel and do some PR to say that we're in our place, that we're certainly not. Just last night I heard you on the political platform, and you actually reiterate the point that people are waiting for long hours, if not days, in wheelchair, and people are still making their bed from cardboards or whatever in our public health facilities.
Indeed. It's a sad reality, and no amount of ribbon cutting will change that reality for the users of the public healthcare system, because after 9 years in government, what is happening is that this present administration, they're campaigning on what is to come, not performance and achievements. It's somebody said the opposition is supposed to campaign on hopes and what will happen in the future. The incumbent should be campaigning on achievements and what is in front of you. It's unfortunate that it's both the opposition and the government that are talking about what is to come, because the government cannot say what they have done to improve healthcare, to make it better over the last 9 years. In fact, by all measures, it's worse than when they assumed office. The waiting times are longer, the backlogs are longer. Although we have heard talk about money not being an issue, there are a lot of suppliers who are old and they have stopped rendering services, they have stopped honoring requests. Withdrawing services, not supplying equipment.
Even amidst the boastful speeches that we had heard from the Prime Minister over and over, that, listen, we're at a particular place where we don't have to borrow and this, that, and so on. You're saying that the suppliers of medical services, well, certainly what we need, medical supplies, they are unable to be paid, and that is causing major issues within the sector?
Yes. It is a problem, especially with the diagnostic services. They're pretty much spent billions of dollars, I assume, outsourcing diagnostics instead of investing in CT scans and X-ray machines in the hospitals. And not only has that money just left the system without any improvement, like a revolving door, you're now seeing where suppliers are the providers of these diagnostic services. They're owed so much that they're not taking anybody else. from the public health sector, and the whole scheme has fallen apart. So if you are in the public sector now and you need a CAT scan, you better be able to find your money to get that scan done. And for the average Jamaican, and we have to remember that the average Jamaican is working class. It takes a while for them to come up with that money. And in so doing, cancers can spread, strokes can get worse, appendix can rupture. Anything can happen. And it is leading to a lot of deaths that are unaccounted for. And we have no measure of the number of deaths that are caused by the inaccessibility of proper imaging, where doctors can't make a decision as to how to treat their patients. There was a review recently where you look at the number of specialists per 100,000 of the population, their international benchmarks, the services with a number of CT scans per 100,000. All of these, Jamaica has fallen short significantly. Persons are dying waiting to get on dialysis because you can't get on dialysis unless somebody dies and you get that spot.
My God.
Surgeries, cancers. It's an unfortunate disaster, but it's.
I can hear the sadness in your voice, Doc. And as I said before, you would not just be speaking as someone who just a spokesperson, but you would basically feel and understand the pain that your colleague would be going through as medical practitioner and what the patient themselves would also be facing as well. Dr. Dawes, before I move to the drill, I want you to just spend a little time with my listeners, what this means for outsourcing, actually renting or outsourcing those, the thing with the equipment versus us purchasing these. Where would we be now had we gone the route of purchasing the equipment rather than just outsourcing?
Yeah, it's so you're talking about several years of outsourcing, hundreds of millions of dollars per year. If you had concentrated those resources and said, all right, we're going to build out a proper radiology unit every year, by now you would have had several hospitals with functioning radiology units. I mean, Bustamante Hospital, the largest pediatric hospital in the English-speaking Caribbean, does not have a CAT scan. They have to, if you have an emergency, and this is like after surgical complications or something, you have to get those kids down on an ambulance to KPH, those babies, down to KPH.
Listen, you're hearing this?
To get that scan so you can make a decision, and you're talking about precious hours lost. It's one would think that it's common sense that if you're doing complex spine cases, neurosurgery cases, ENT cases, you must have a functioning CAT scan at that hospital. Yet there has been no serious effort in putting one there.
And what that means, Doc, it means that had that proper built out took place, then you would also have additional money. So the things like your the renal centers would be more outfitted with additional machines, because you would have settled that, so you would have more monies on the recurrent side that you could spend on those equipment, eh?
Exactly. It's a matter of priorities. They have focused a lot on infrastructural development, and not to say that we don't need improvement in the infrastructure, but when you're going to go to UE and put in a $5 billion wing, when that's not even a part of the public health sector. If you take that $5 billion and say you give a hospital $1 billion to 5 hospitals, you would transform those hospitals completely. Choose 5 Type B hospitals, sub-hospital that's bursting at the seams, Mandeville Hospital, Nathan Hospital, Spanish Town could get that instead of that $5 billion new wing. It's nice to say that you're going to have all of these major infrastructural developments. But while all of that is taking place, the services have declined so much that you have health centers running out of gauze for dressings.
So a lot of people will dead before a lot of people will die before those things come to fruition.
Yeah.
All right, Doc, I have about 8 minutes leave. I know that this has been getting a lot of rotation, as I said before. I think we brought that story here first with Senator Brown as it relates to the drill, the neuro drill there at the Bustamante Children's Hospital. You as a point person, spokesman on health, you have basically picked it up, and it seems as if you are not letting it go at all. You are still asking for answers. We gather that what was paid for one, we could at least procure at least 3 for the same money. Talk to my listeners about that drill system there, Doc.
Yeah, the narrative is now to switch focus from the actual cost of the drill to say what the drill can do, and nobody's disputing that. We need a drill like that because of the complex neurosurgical cases that are being done at Bustamante Hospital. The problem is that we could have bought a drill for KPH as well as that drill for Bustamante and all of the attachments needed for all of the cases with that money that was spent. And they're not accepting, and more, they're not accepting that they pay too much, whether out of corruption or incompetence. And they're trying to deflect from that. So there have been very nicely edited videos demonstrating how advanced the drill is. But nobody's speaking about the cost. With
because the effectiveness and the use of the drill was never ever a question. All right?
We never questioned the effectiveness and the need to purchase the drill. We never questioned that it was doctors who look for the specifications of the drills. But the doctors had nothing to do with the prices, and they're making it seem as if a criticism of the process to buy that drill that costs taxpayers $31 million is a criticism of the doctors and a criticism of the desire to improve medical care. That is gaslighting at its best, and it's something that we reject completely. The truth is that after buying that drill, you still have to rent a drill if you want to the ENT surgeries at Bustamante. No, that drill they didn't buy the attachments to the ENT surgery after all that money.
Wow. The minister recently came out and sought to say, listen, I'm distancing himself from the whole process. Can the minister distance himself from this, Dr. Dawes?
Well, the buck stops somewhere. The buck stops somewhere. And it has to be with the minister. And it's not even collective responsibility. It is your responsibility as the chief to say that if a process has led to overspending for an item, it's a breach of the fiduciary responsibility that you have for the taxpayers to make sure that the taxpayer dollars are best spent in the most efficient way to maximize returns in your ministry. So you can't distance yourself from it. And having come out and being the main focus of the videos, he has inserted himself in the process.
Doc, listen. There are many scandals that have hit this wholeness-led administration, and they go at all levels. We see even the Nutribon Bulla money for our students, the poorest of the poor, have been stolen. Would you say that this one has also reached the threshold of a major scandal, or of a scandal indeed? And corruption?
It has surpass the threshold that one would say that this is a major scandal for corruption. But I've done my part, as I said, is really for the media to take it from there and demand answers. What we need is for them to release the documents, so we can see the specs of the drill to see whether or not we overpaid. And I guarantee you that if they do that, there will be major fallout because there's absolutely no way. And I've consulted with industry experts, persons who sell those drills, and there's absolutely no way that drill can cost anywhere close to $30 million.
Well, Doc, I'm going to ask my listeners to stay tuned. Don't leave this space because I'm actively working on some receipts as we speak. I don't know that I will have them at hand for today, but certainly we are busy doing the groundwork, the legwork, as it were, and getting those receipts in hand. Because you have made the call, Doc, and I want to support you on this. That head should roll. You call for the very minimum of the resignation, or certainly the removal of the person who chaired the region. That's Mr. Wentworth Charles.
Yeah,
are you still holding to that call that he should step aside?
He has to step aside, and even but the calls really should be louder now because he completely misrepresented me in the media by saying that I agreed with the findings that he presented, and then made a completely different statement when I left the meeting, and that is not true. At the end of the meeting,
so he lied on you, Dr. Dawes?
He did. He lied. It was a blatant lie because I asked that the minutes should reflect that I am not satisfied and there are further questions to be asked. And at the end of the meeting, he refused to shake my hand as a result of that.
So your comment is minuted. It's actually there in the minutes.
I asked specifically that it be minuted, that I am not satisfied and there are further questions to be asked, especially with the internal costing. Who determined that an appropriate price for the drill should be $31 million? That question was never answered in the meeting.
Mm-hmm. And you're holding fast, Dr. Dawes, that had money spent properly, we could get 3 of that same drill that would be outfitted, not just the Bustamante Hospital in that area, but we could have 3 other drill with the attendant apparatus with them, the connections that we're hearing about, the connectors.
The connectors and so on, the pricing that because I was able to look, they showed me the procurement documents, and the prices I saw were obscene compared to what the estimates I had in front of me. And I can share those estimates with you.
Oh, all right, good. I'll be happy, Doc. We're up on time. I know you have to run that because time beckon. But thanks a lot, and we'll keep this discussion going. I believe that the media, the Fourth Estate, should zero in on this a little more. It's taxpayers' money after all, and our people are suffering. God bless you, sir. That's opposition spokesman and health, Dr. Alfred Dawes. Let's go to the 10 o'clock break. So come.
Something powerful is happening across the Caribbean. From Montserrat to Anguilla, and now in Trinidad and Tobago, people are making their voices heard. In election after election, seemingly strong and steady governments are being voted out, and opposition parties are taking their place with convincing strength. In Trinidad and Tobago Monday, Kamla Persad-Besesser of the United National Congress, UNC coalition, was returned to power. What's behind these big political shifts? And could places like Jamaica, Guyana, St. Vincent, and even Street Kitts and Nevis be next?
If you call it in May, you're going to get a beating. If you call it in June, you're going to get a beating. If you call it in July, you're going to get a beating. If you call it in August, you're going to get a beating. And if you call it in September, we're going to give you a political backside in Congress. Congress, the next thing that I want to point out to you is that in 2022, our comrade leader said to me that he's going to assign me the portfolio of housing and sustainable living. And he said your mandate is to ensure that you come up.
The opposition spokesman on national security is insisting that resources are being withheld from the Financial Investigations Division FID to fight financial crimes such as money laundering. Peter Bunting was speaking at a recent constituency meeting in central Kingston. He indicated that the Integrity Commission report into the statutory declarations of Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has been referred to the FID.
All 100.
That report was referred to the Financial Investigation Division. But what we have learned, not through this government, but through the International Narcotics Report that's published by the USA, is that the FID has been starved of resources. Their staff complement is now only one third of what it should be. They have no director. They have an acting director who is the IT manager, not an investigator. So what we see is that the organization has been stripped of staff and resources, and I leave you to draw your own conclusions.
The March 2025 U.S. International Narcotics Control Strategy Report states that the FID reports a reduction in defensive suspicious transaction filings due to technological improvements and training. Financial and human limitations continue to hinder efforts to investigate and prosecute money laundering. The U.S. report indicates that the FID has 83 staff members as of October 2024, well short of its target of 230 employees. From January to March 2014, 11 persons were prosecuted and 8 convicted for financial crimes. $1.9 million in criminal assets have been seized. You have an advocate in me. The word from a former retired police officer to police personnel if his party forms the next government.
From 4
Steve
different
McGregor,
locations.
who is representing the PNP in Kingston Central, is promising to improve the standard of living for police personnel. He was speaking at a recent constituency meeting.
Dressing up in blue suit and blue frock no means say you support police.
PNP candidate for Kingston Central Steve McGregor taking a jab at JLP supporters who claim his party is not in support of police personnel. The former police officer has highlighted challenges within the JCF when it comes to pension payments. He served the force for 41 years and retired in January 2024.
The first time I got a pension payment and the first tranche was in February this year. One whole year I waited before I got any money. And I know that there are police officers who have not gotten theirs as yet. Some probably have even died before getting. I remember when Conrad Bunting was the Minister of National Security. They put a retired police officer, God bless his soul, Lucius Thomas, in place where they would ensure that all retired police officers got their pay within 2 months of their retirement. That is leadership, and that has been shelved. So when they're behaving as if they are for the police, nothing goes up. I want them to hurry up and pay the retroactive payment that they have for the police and other government workers, because they are waiting until close to when they call the election as if it's a special favor that they are doing for these workers. It is something that they are obligated to do.
Mr. McGregor says some police personnel who use firearms in the line of duty are denied permits to have a personal gun because of where they live.
Now, when I am the Member of Parliament for Central Kingston and I am in the cabinet alongside Comrade Bunting, I will ensure that nothing goes up. We are going to ensure that there's a special line for our police officers that can expedite their application so that they can get a firearm if they want one, because they are giving their lives, they are putting their lives on the line for us.
He also pledged to give some concession to police personnel applying for a licensed gun. In the meantime, Mr. McGregor reiterated support for body-worn cameras and less lethal weapons. He also promised increased training to handle critical incidents.
Corruption is rampant at the highest levels of this government. You will remember during my budget presentation when they tried to prevent me from saying some critical things about governance, even shutting down the sitting of Parliament. Well, I went on the street and I said what I had to say, and I will say it here again. The failure to disclose the identity of the so-called illicit 6 MPs who are under investigation by the Integrity Commission for illicit enrichment remains a festering sore, only made worse by the Prime Minister's gag order on cabinet ministers speaking publicly on these matters. But wait, comrades, I have to rewrite that part because it is no longer 6. It has gone to 8. So let me say it again. The failure to disclose the identity of the so-called illicit 8 MPs who are under investigation by the Integrity Commission remains a festering sore, only made worse by the Prime Minister's gag order on his cabinet ministers and MPs speaking publicly on these matters. Comrades, I had to hurry up and say that a second time, because before we reach and finish here today, maybe it will move from 8 to 12, the way how the number of labor rights illicits seems to multiply like gremlins. We will put a stop to such shenanigans. We will change the law so that all Integrity Commission reports must be published on Parliament's website within a short time, perhaps 24 hours of being sent to Parliament, so all Jamaicans can read those reports. Comrades, it is time to change these things. Accountability and transparency matter. And that is change. The Prime Minister just needs to fly the gate. Call it Andrew, call it, and Iman will sound the trumpet.
Whether you're Labour right, PNP, regular Jamaican who just want to vote for a change.
Indeed, the lines are now open. The numbers are 876-212-9824. That's 876-212-9824 and 876-462-0919. Those are the numbers to reach us on the program this morning. Indeed, it's always a pleasure having you on. And this morning, we're simulcasting with our friends at Fit FM. All right, that's fitfmja.com. And of course, you can listen to them also on the 96.7 FM band down there in Trelawney and other parts of Western Jamaica. We're also simulcasting on the Wayne Hall Network and indeed Caribbean Vibes Radio. We're also being carried this morning by the Make We Talk YouTube channel. So give us a call. Let's talk. Tell us what's on your mind. You just heard the conversation with Dr. Alfred Dawes there, expressing a lot of issues that are, befalling our health sector here in Jamaica. And certainly we're very, very concerned about that. Again, thanks to you who have been saying to us that you're not picking us up on the 93 band, but it's actively being worked on, so just bear with us, all right? Just bear with us, I beg you, please. Okay, so the Gleaner yesterday, the Sunday Gleaner yesterday carried a large front page article here, and it talk about doctors, government in $100 billion showdown. And this stated to be the largest showdown that will take place by the, the body that deal with that look at those things for our public sector workers. I'm hoping to speak with the president for the Civil Service Association sometime on this. We're also seeing on that same paper, front page yesterday, central heating. All right, and it talk about Belfield, that's the Belfield division, could hold key to victory in mid-Manchester as road water remain sticking points. We have callers, and let's go to the phone line. Hello, welcome caller.
Morning, Mr. Brother.
Hi, Marsha, how are you doing, man?
Thank God, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me something.
Yes.
Anybody hearing you on the radio?
No, that's I was just making I just made the announcement just now that what happened there. We're having some issues with the 93 FM band, and I'm hoping that the powers that be will look at it. So we have been getting the calls. Mm-hmm.
For the time them are the problem. Anyway, they come into me like Tufton and Conrad Regional Hospital. Ever fixing and can't done.
All right, sir.
It make me sick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes, and I must
say... Where some other means just listening to you.
Yes.
And you know, a lot of people in Jamaica want to hear you. A lot of people.
Yeah, and I must add to that, that they have been getting the calls, not just from the listeners, but our advertisers, certain the sponsors for my program here. They have been expressing a view there. So I can only mention it, sir. Let's hope that the powers that be will deal with it. It's kind of, it's frustrating to me as well. But thank God, we have various means of our listeners hearing us. So we give God thanks for that. This morning, we're up on and Trelawney's Radio Fit FM. We're also up on the Make We Talk YouTube channel, where you can listen to us on the Newstalk 93 FM app, and also on the Conrad OB TikTok page and so on. So thank God for those. But certainly people want to be in their car wherever the 93 FM band is playing and basically be able to listen, or just somebody who is in their homes, You still have people who listen to radio the conventional way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Including yourself would be happy to basically turn your radio on in your house and listen. Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, God, man. It's disgusting, man. It's too enough time I may complain,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, enough time I may complain. And better can be done.
Mm-hmm.
Either somebody not pulling their weight or something at the start. But don't kill the station, Newstalk 93. Don't kill it, man. Please. Something can be done where they must can do. Enough is enough.
We have some new partners here who I anticipate they're listening and they should be building out something. So let's see how that goes. But enough on that. Let's go. Those who are able to hear us on the various means, let's work with it.
Tell me something.
Yes.
Why the Prime Minister love embarrass himself? So when turn up, I used to enroll for the funeral. He was not invited. When turn up, therefore, I'm gonna make up a mommy sure, papi sure himself. What happened to him?
Well, I tell you this. The Prime Minister would respond to you that funeral, you don't necessarily need invitation, so I don't know that the Prime Minister had to be invited.
You have certain situations. I'm not even on the program.
He wasn't?
He wasn't on the program. He was not.
Oh.
Nobody know I really hear anything from Andrew Wellness. He was not on the program. That is something where you must can get.
Mm-hmm.
And poor Hamilton, the outside, I'm on funeral, I give care package. What kind of out order business that?
That's not good at all. That's out of order. You can't do
that. Set up people, man.
There are certain things, that has a certain level of reverence to it. And if you wish to give out care package, Tova is the MP since 2020 down there, and she should know the people in her constituency by now who need a care package, and quietly, hear what I'm saying, quietly identify those persons and go out and give them give them care package. Frank, I must tell you, I haven't seen it, but I'm just commenting generally, and this is a comment that I would make, whether it is PNP or JLP. There are some things in a marsh that I just believe that it's just unbecoming and cannot be satisfied. So if Tova Hamilton, and Tova, I spoke to her here before, I have her contact, I will give her a call, because if that is so, that she's out there giving care package at the funeral, it is unsightly and despicable and should not happen, should not be countenanced.
And let me tell you, the Prime Minister shouldn't show up, because no reserve seat never even did a theme. You know what's a normal that would happen? As somebody says, squeeze bad the grains of a squeeze up and give him a cut.
You're not easy,
No, he's not there. He should not be there. He should. And then, where you think them start this narrative now? Mark Golden was not there. Mark Golden sent a representative there.
Yes, they
understand? Don't show up. Yeah, certain place you not show up. Let me tell you, see
and one also has to be mindful that Mark Golden may have had many more engagement before this. So that's what leaders do from time to time. You're not able to be everywhere, because not all of us are so ubiquitous,
Yeah. We must learn to understand when the people turn against us. Or when somebody turn against you. Because Andrew will disappoint a lot of people. And all the technologies where them have about the place attack, and what the word technologies, you can't use it if you want.
Yes, I hear you use it elsewhere, but you must make them know, so you bust that first.
No.
You bust it here from the other day. I heard you elsewhere with it, but when I hear that, say, boy, Marsh, not easy, he's carrying his originality elsewhere. But it was actually busted right here.
Yes, that is a fact. But you can't be going around and trick, because pure trick they're playing, pure trick they're playing. And think, a young man Friday evening give me a lift in his vehicle, and we were talking, and he said more people now really imply more than 32. He said, yes, true, more people imply, but what the money can buy where you get it. It's like it's worse than slavery, because in the days of slavery you wouldn't get no pay, but you wouldn't think of buying anything. You would get your ration, you get your clothes, you get your house to sleep, You understand? You only have to come to work. But now we are free, you're getting paid, but the pay can't buy anything. You can't pay light, you can't pay water, you can't pay rent out of the salary, you can't buy food out of it. Some more people working, but you're not earning anything, so it's really slavery. And they use it now as a trick argument. They tell you that they give the biggest wage increase, the biggest wage increase. And when you used to get the small wage increase, you used to survive better.
Well, Marsh, as I said earlier, that is where the Prime Minister is in a very, very sticky position, because the Prime Minister now moving his whole agenda of prosperity and talking somehow sort of nonsense in my view, really, about he's not talking that you're not supposed to be talking about poor, but this, that, and so on. The fact of the matter is that the Prime Minister, the position that the Prime Minister took the country in 2016, the people are worse off now.
We are worse.
Poverty is higher. To use even his own metrics, the chart that he took to Parliament during his budget presentation. And thank God, Damien Crawford, again, as a very thoughtful man, he basically exposed those and showed up the Prime Minister. Also, the Prime Minister, one would remember, and I'm sure you remember, Marsh, the Prime Minister used to go around with this basket $4,000, I think it was the cost. I challenged the Prime Minister this morning, and I'm doing it again. Present that same basket in Parliament now. And I tell him that the 15,000 or 16,000, that is the minimum wage, it cannot purchase what could be purchased in that basket at $4,000 at the material time.
Your co-host, which one of the technologists that going around telling people now, oh, teacher better off because schoolyard full now, you know if you play football because car, dog just you kick ball, it broke people glass and all of that something. Man, I need to understand that enough teacher borrow fear figure work till you get paid, you know.
Well, that's
because
true.
the salary can't do anything.
True. We heard that, as a matter of fact, we heard from principals who said that, listen, teachers have absent days because when it reach a particular day in the month or days in the month, you know, they really just can't.
Listen, we used to have Ben Johnson days. Now we start to have Ben Johnson week.
Lord Jesus. Ben Johnson week.
You just can't go any further. Andrew understand his team need to understand that people they are suffering.
So
when people like when your co-host have one next man when they call in you must call or one when you tap on then they must understand that if you don't understand, I don't know where else if you just shut up, you know. Because you don't have one, maybe them have dollars, but them not understand.
So much with all of that, you know, because if you listen to some of the persons that you call their name and the PM himself, you know, they will be happy or willing to come and say to you that you know things better and so on. But here is it, as Professor Senator Floyd Morris said, you know, that the truth is that the Prime Minister is running scared of calling the election, and he reminds Jamaica that in the midst of COVID, the Prime Minister, when he said that election wasn't on his mind, he hurried and called the election. The farthest thing from his mind. He hurried and called the election. So the question is, why is the Prime Minister staying away from going to the polls?
Simple. That's a simple question. Simple answer to that question. The Prime Minister, the people in his own party turn against him. He cannot call the election. The election will be going right to September, and September closing in on him. He can't settle up a Carl Samuda seat. He can't settle. He can't settle down a Clarendon when Newbury. He can't settle. Mapen Central, they don't settle. Down at Westmoreland, they are not settled. You understand? And some other places.
Even South Manchester, they're still having issues there.
South Manchester. He can't call the election.
And of
so
course,
the election won't be called until September. So all who running up and down until election save the money until Andrew can't call the election.
No, I don't think that's a good advice for you to give people who are really serious about election and their campaign. The fact of the matter, the fact of the matter is that when you're in opposition, you can't take anything for granted. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you, if one advice that I would give any opposition at this time, certainly the PNP here in Jamaica or any other persons who wish to contest the election, because we talk about the PNP and the JLP, but other persons can contest. Now is the time for you to be what is called a ground god. You know, to basically live on the ground and be there. Don't take anything at all for granted, because remember, one of the gifts that the Prime Minister has is that gift of him alone can call the election. So he could get up, he could go to bed tonight, and his wife Juliet whisper in his ear something that he doesn't like or something that he likes, and it triggers him. And he say, you know what, I'm going to call this darn thing and get over with it. So anything can happen. I'll urge people to...
The election won't be called, though, because I'm going to call 4 names to you. Juliet Wellness.
Yes.
Will not be there after the election over. And let me call it, let me put the next Juliet tonight, you know. Juliet, the bad word lady. She won't be there. I'm going to call another name. The name is James Robertson, when the election done, I tell you something, he will not be there.
All right, Marshall, let's see what will happen. It's
well, let me just call the next two, no? Darrell Vaz won't be around. And you have a lady named Marison from up in a center in a St. Catherine. I think I not something. They all are going to lose their seat.
Naughty St. Catherine, you're talking about my good friend Currency. All right, Marsha,
she
boy.
will not be there when the election over. She gone.
All right, Marsha. Let's see what will happen. It seems as if you're predicting a total wipeout for the Labour Party.
Something let me know, you know.
All right, my friend. Blessings. All right. It's now going up to 27 minutes after 10 o'clock. We start with this call and take back the person for a few after the break. Hello, caller.
Hi, morning, Obi.
Yes, sir.
To the extent that Usain Bolt has brought considerable fame to Jamaica, and is someone who was supported visibly.
Is this Marlon Morgan?
Yes, man.
Okay.
Throughout his career by his late father, Wellesley Bolt. Yes? Would it not have been very opportune and appropriate to the extent that his diary afforded for the Prime Minister to attend upon the funeral service for the late Wellesley Bolt, standing in solidarity with the Bolt family in their hour of bereavement, in as much as he and myself and others stood with Jamaica Constabulary Force by donning blue last Tuesday? Would that not have been entirely appropriate?
All right, let me respond to both, Marlon, because now that I recognize with you, I'll just close this half an hour with you because I have other callers. I'll say this to you, that there's two different things. First thing to begin with, the Prime Minister, in my view, divided move last week, saw a discord of divisiveness among Jamaicans. The Prime Minister must understand that he's Prime Minister for all Jamaicans. And for him to have taken that position as if anybody was out there saying that, listen, you must not give the police support. And so it is divisive at its core. And as it relates to Usain Bolt, like the Prime Minister, can attend Mass Tom, Miss Jane, Miss Matty, or the youngster Akeem in Tivoli Gardens funeral or in Jonestown, he is certainly within his right to attend any funeral, because the last time I checked, I don't know if you give out invitation to go to funeral. So if the Prime Minister, if the Prime Minister sees it fit to go to a funeral, then it is his business. But one would find it a little bit difficult, a little bit hazy that the Prime Minister turn up without him being on the agenda. You know, that kind of thing. You would know.
So there is no doubt the Prime Minister, based on what I gather, was not on the program, but that doesn't negate attendance. And as the Prime Minister indicated, hold on, let me just complete what I am saying. So the Prime Minister, however, had occasion to speak, and that was what was important. He, as the leader of the country, much to the chagrin of some people, took the opportunity to register. Hold on, man. You were on the phone with March for 10 minutes. I will hold the line.
No, I'm not going to come back with you.
To hold the line.
I am not going to come back to you.
Because you don't want to. You're fearful of me, so you have to run like a wounded dog.
Please. You're finished for today. Marlon, you get your time.
You have to run.
Whether you're Labour right, PNP, regular Jamaican who just want to vote for a change, you see the next election here will come up under no circumstances whatsoever can you vote in back the Jamaica Labour.
The Prime Minister just needs to fly the gate. Call it Andrew, call it, and Iman will sound the trumpet.
Bolt's money was not lost. It was stolen. Plain as daylight. We must not prejudice the right of fair trial of any accused. But there are issues which, according to our constitutional entitlement of free speech, demand ventilation and not a muzzle. In 1998, Mr. Eric Thompson would have had no legal recourse for a failure of his bank. But now, there's the FSC.
The Prime Minister just needs to fly the gate. Call it Andrew. Call it. And Iman will sound the trumpet.
Whether you're Labour right, PNP, regular Jamaican who just want to vote for a change, you see the next election here will come up under no circumstances whatsoever can you vote in back the Jamaica Labour Party into government.
Jamaica, vote power. Don't vote for Labour. They don't care about poor people. They make we suffer. Jamaica, vote for power. Market care. So we're voting today and we're voting forever. Jamaica, vote power. Jamaica, vote power. Vote for power. Market care. So we're voting today and we're voting forever. Jamaica, vote power. Jamaica. Them feel like them can't trick we again. Them to know so we get wiser. Yeah, man. Full speed ahead, Marky G. Now make them trick we. Deal with it. Go get your mother. Go get your father. Go get your uncle and auntie. Go get your sister. Go get your brother. Go get your whole family. We don't care what the Labour right want to say. So we're voting today and we're voting forever. Jamaica, vote power. Jamaica, vote power. Don't vote for Labour. They don't care. So we're voting today and we're voting forever. Jamaica, vote power.
The Prime Minister just needs to fly the gate. Call it Andrew.
Space,
Call it.
and of course we're also streaming live. We're simulcasting with our friends at Fit FM, Caribbean Vibes Radio, and indeed the Wayne Hall Network, and we're also up on the Jeffrey Tavares Make We Talk YouTube channel. All right, so it's 10:34, and you know, I tell you this, and one has to understand, Marlon Morgan will not be getting the same treatment like my callers, my regular callers here, and that is for the primary reason that he hosts a program here. So I want to give my callers and my regular listeners the time. I don't hear anybody else who hosts a radio program keep on calling and hugging every program like Marlon do, and it's becoming a little bit distasteful, and I'm urging you to cease and desist. So you sending me any amount of off-air message, Marlon, not going to make me change my mind. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, welcome caller.
Yes, sir, morning.
Hi, how are you doing, sir? Milton?
Not too bad. Your colleague.
Yes.
He's an activist of the Labour Party.
Indeed he is.
I think there are some senior people in the Labour Party who should tell him that, no man, wait, you have two, at least two there like your colleague.
Mm-hmm.
That you can make any amount of contribution to us.
It's becoming quite distasteful, sir. It's becoming embarrassing to him as well. But obviously he can't see it.
No, yeah,
you don't have to be trying so hard, man. You don't have to be trying so hard to convince anybody.
Mr. Morgan, with the greatest respect, man. But they are going with this unprecedented, you know. We can't tell you that, because I'm old enough to tell you that. I'm some senior man at the Labour Party, both at the street level and the supporter level and the executive level. They will tell you, say, what you are going, man, that's worse than the state's fault, sir. You have your turn, man. You have your turn. Yes, Mr. O'Brien.
I am saying, you know, just before you leave, if Moreland, when he is hosting, and if he has a topical issue, and he invite me on the program in a professional capacity as a guest, I'll be happy to basically speak with him. Right, but I'm not going to be sitting around waiting to come and to nitpick and to be called. I'm not a laughing stock, sir. Please, go ahead, man. Go ahead, my friend.
Over the weekend in St. Mary,
yes,
Mr. Golden was on his feet, talking about the Integrity Commission,
yes,
the FID, and some report coming from overseas, the corruption. You want to explain to your listeners the truth of what you were trying to say, sir, or what you said?
Well, certainly it's not just in St. Mary. What happened, Mr. Golden and other members of the PNP, but chief among them, opposition leader and PNP president Mark Golden, he's saving no time to remind the Jamaican people of the corruption allegation that basically on the Prime Minister. And he went further by way of information that we got out of the United States of America to say that the FID, which is the major investigative arm of investigating and dealing with financial crime, criminal matters in the financial sector, you know, things to do with money. They are saying that, listen, the body has been watered down. It doesn't have a head. There's an acting person there. And also, it has just about 1/3 of its staff complement. And that is not coming from the opposition PNP, but the Americans are basically taking a serious look at it. And I think we're seeing where the thing are closing in even deeper on the Prime Minister.
Yes, sir. But at least you never mentioned that the person who is now acting in that capacity in the FID.
He's not an investigator.
He doesn't have much expertise in investigating. He's more like a technology expert or something like that.
Absolutely. Well, you're here to assist in backing up that. That's also true.
Yeah, but one question: the Integrity Commission told us last year that they're gonna refer it instead of to declare verify the Prime Minister's tax thing. They're going to refer to their partner, because they're having some partnership with FID.
Absolutely. There's an MOU. They call it an MOU.
Yes, sir.
Memorandum of Understanding.
Yeah, with the greatest respect to the Integrity Commission under the leadership of the jurist in Justice Stewart Panton. Did Mr. Panton and the Integrity Commission verify the FID was in a position to undertake such a task? That's a question I think, with the greatest respect to Mr. Panton to answer, you know. Because if you and I have a taxi operator, and I agree with that, say, whenever my taxi broke down, I go link you and to carry the passenger. The first thing when I'm ready to link you, I have to find out that your vehicle is in our work at the position before me put the people in your vehicle. So I like to ask the jurors, did he found out from the FID if they were in a position to take such a task?
But what happened? Remember also that, you know, and I know people feel uncomfortable with it when you mention it, but senior journalist and attorney at law, Diane Jackson Miller, and I haven't heard anything to the contrary. She said that she touched base with the IC, the Integrity Commission, when the matter raised about sending the file to the FID. And the Integrity Commission, they said that, listen, they had contacted the FID earlier in the piece, and they advised them to go ahead and do their work and then send it to them afterwards. And indeed, that's what they did. We have a lot of callers trying to get
know, man, but so what's the way forward? What the opposition intend to do? They cannot call a press conference, call in some journalists and outline it, or they intend to take it, because if you have a senior man in a position and he doesn't have the expertise relative to the job at hand, why keep him there?
Well, certainly, Milton, I believe that, as you mentioned there, a press conference with what came out of the United States recently, I believe it is incumbent on the opposition to basically call a press conference. And I think that as much journalists, reporters within the mainstream space and elsewhere should basically make themselves available to go to that conference and pose as much question as possible.
Yes, then the Prime Minister now, once he remains Prime Minister, he has a lot of influence over those proceedings, you know.
Yeah, he does.
The appointment and this and the court and this and the court, this and that, he has a lot of things, huge conflict of interest. And we want to hear what the opposition has to say when they form the government, read the Prime Minister taking an entity to court and remain the Prime Minister, you know. We want arguments and doors.
And that's probably a question that you could send in as a private citizen at
yes, man, don't want something like that you let somebody say, you're gonna have your cake and eat it.
All right, Milton.
That will work out, you know.
Yeah, man. All right, Milton, have to go. All right, take care. All right, so let's take some more calls, and bear with me, callers. Just allow me to share the space. The numbers keep on buzzing. Hello, caller. Welcome to Straight Up right here in Newstalk 93. Hi, Mr. Lewis. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, right, sir. I just want to make some things clear. First one, do you know who is Patricia Levy?
No.
Well, that is Mark Golding's mother. Yeah. Well, Patricia Levy, father was a doctor in Westmoreland. Patricia Levy went to St. Andrew High.
Yes.
Right. Mark Golding was born in Jamaica in 1965.
Yes.
I went to Mona Prep.
Yes.
So when people talking about that
and then he went to Campion College.
Right. So Mark Golding has relatives in Westmoreland.
Absolutely.
My grandfather is a Jamaican from Westmoreland. So you know, the PNP, I think overall they are not backing up Mark Golding. A lot of
You know, Mr. Lewis, I saw the Mark Golding went out and he published his thing. He addressed the people. It's all over social media where he remind Jamaica and talking about he was born in Jamaica. He went to school in Jamaica. He had only worked in Jamaica and he has no intention of leaving Jamaica. And so, but I think that argument, you know, Mr. Lewis, kind of watered down. It's just a few surrogates and people who really and truly.
But I hear this very station that and where they are pushing that agenda.
Yeah, man. But who are they pushing it with, and who is supporting it? No one of the biggest surrogates and propagandists for the Labour Party, man. The man are interested for bring no credibility. Hold on, I'm going to say it. The man are not interested to bring no credibility to the space of radio, you know. You believe that anybody could come here and make an argument that that Andrew Holness no born a Jamaica and this and so on, and the facts are out there, and I, within my mind, countenance this and don't rubbish those people to hell?
But what I'm trying to
get off the radio with the nonsense. Come on, man. Must be serious.
I had to talk to him a bit hard, you know, because what I was saying to him, you can Google things now, you know, and a life post now we tell him the Russian ship coming and half at a gallery. But you still have a lot of I don't know, people don't have much sense.
People are prepared to embarrass themselves and at the end of the day look stupid just to achieve a quote-unquote agenda. But at the end of the day, when you leave wherever your space is and you go to bed, how do you sleep with that thing that is called a conscience that all of us have? I always say, I am not unmindful that people will say, boy, Conrad speak as if he has a leaning to the PNP. I don't mind if people want to say that, but test the veracity of my argument. It is grounded in facts. And so you're not going to come here and spread no nonsense, whether you're PNP or JLP. Not going to happen. Go ahead, sir.
People must be educated now. Where you can take your phone and just Google something. You don't just listen to people telling you garbage. Another thing I want to touch quickly, this bill that they're trying to pass, the teachers bill, where the teacher must be given license, etc. I think if they allow that bill to go through, education match up in Jamaica forever.
In its present form.
Right.
And that is why the JTA and certainly the spokesman on education and the PNP as a whole, they are pushing back and saying, no, not at all.
The truth is, those guys are bright in math, chemistry, physics. And people went to teachers college,
True.
And they are the people that are keeping up the keep and safety overall. Because many of the bright people don't really go teachers college, They go to doctor, engineer, etc.
Well, I tell you something. Just use, for example, let's use a politician, Damian Crawford. I don't know if others are doing it. I don't know if others are doing it. But Damian basically tell us on a daily basis. Every time he get an opportunity, he told us that, listen, he teach math to persons all over the place. He gave that back. Now, based on the bill in its present form, Damian would not able to do so.
He
can't do it. As a matter of fact, even your own children.
My brother, Dr. Lewis.
Yes. Deceased, yes.
He used to teach maths at Frankfurt Primary on Saturday. And he had a amount of people who passed maths, we couldn't pass maths. They are the brighter guys. And you cannot take them out of the system. If you take them out of the system mash up. Some of the best maths book, one a Tutsi, I think, in him. He's an engineer. Those are the bright guys.
Yeah, man, Tutsi. But you see, when you look at it also, outside of that, you will have to be registered across subject. So, for example, let's say you're in a school as a math teacher or a geography teacher, and the history teacher is not there, and you are proficient in teaching history. You know that the principal in the bill in its present form, the principal could not call on you to go and monitor or teach that history class? No.
But in what can go so? I teach 8 subjects. 8.
Because
I remember I said at primary school, I just know them I try to put in like 1 or 2 teachers to teach maths extra. But normally I teach every subject.
Yeah.
So how it ever work?
Okay, Mr. Lewis. Very, very instructive observation there. We have some other calls. Don't know if
yes, sir.
No, all right, cool. So good. All right. It's something that we have to take a look at. Don't make the good. Don't kill the good for the bad. That's how the saying goes. Maybe not correct in the saying, but don't kill the good for the bad. So if you're putting in a bill, because I don't get the impression that teachers are saying or anybody is saying that don't license the teachers and professionalize the discipline. However, the way that it is being done, a lot of questions should be asked. And I have the bill, and I know that the JTA, as we speak, they are meeting, or it's about 11 o'clock today. They will be having that meeting, emergency meeting they call there at their headquarters. Hello, caller.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, morning, sir. How are you doing? Welcome to Straight Up.
Yes, yeah, I'm okay. There's something that I want to say to Marlon, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he's upscotching from station to what kind of entity, what he's doing now.
Who am I speaking to, please, again? Just mind me. Is this
Yeah, I'm calling from overseas.
Oh yes, man.
Right. What he's doing now, he doesn't realize that he's doing more harm than good now. As much as the Prime Minister is in his right to visit anywhere that he wished to, right? One of the things is that two things. He was not a part of the program to speak, right? Ms. Babsy was a part of the program to speak, right? But it is a slight, when you look at it as a humanitarian empathy and all of that, when the Prime Minister come up and speak certain things that Usain Bolt is a national hero and all of this, don't you think that, look at the demeanor of his family, his mom, when you know that up to now, this SSL thing cannot be resolved. His father has died. It must be some cause for concern to the family, like hypocrisy. When you hear
certainly.
You
go ahead,
Carl. A partner with someone. Me and you join a partner, and me can't get my partner job, and then someone in my family died when me want to use the money for burial and all of that, and then me I got turn up with a crying tears. How is it that look? It's not. It don't show no form of empathy, sympathy, or anything. So it seems all fake when the Prime Minister come in and talk these things. Okay, if you look at the pictures, there was some pictures circulating where the lady greet Wickham McNeil and Bruce Golan with open arms and all of that. But if you see the picture of the Prime Minister and the young lady, she was as stone as dead.
Yes, you see what happened, caller. What happened, caller? Here the pickle that the PM find himself in. The PM had money in SSL, and whether it is real or perceived, but there's certainly the optics of it don't look good, because the Prime Minister basically was able to remove his money ahead of time. And you can't fault people for basically coming with a conclusion. And also, when you're a Prime Minister, you will be contacted before to basically be a part of a funeral procession. And it's clear that the Prime Minister was not contacted or something, and the Prime Minister go on what you call, when them say you go crash a party, so you turn up without any, that kind of thing. Exactly. And one must understand, although I said earlier that it is within the Prime Minister's remit to visit any funeral or so, but certainly there is a way of how you deal with a Prime Minister and that thing, because you have to basically work through the logistics, etc., etc. So, it didn't look good at all. The Prime Minister was looking it was quite an embarrassing moment for the Prime Minister, I think.
And dispute the narrative. You see, these are the narrative that it's most of this government person there. It's all come down to PR now, because he wants to save face to say, okay, then yes, Usain Bolt and me have a cordial relationship and all of that stuff. So you speaking these things, but what it do to the ordinary Jamaicans, what it does to the ordinary, and it looks like they are not in touch with the Jamaican. They are not in touch with the grassroots people and the ghetto people and the people who's going to vote.
Then why you think a particular appointment for the Labour Party can come here and said to me that, listen, the JLP is going to win a constituency like Northwest Manchester? They're not in touch with the ground. They don't know what is happening. They don't understand what the people are feeling out there. When you have a situation where you promise prosperity in 2016 and today your poverty rate is higher, how do you compute that and asking for a third term? Don't make any sense.
Yes, and this is a question that I asked because I watched it the other day on Colin's show with Marlon. I was so upset that you guys never grilled on Marlon some more, because he said that PMP is going to lose 3 seats, right? Well, as we change the subject here, he said PMP is going to lose 3 seats. Why didn't you guys ask him how many seats will the GLP lose or win? Right? And can he name them? Since he named the 3 seats, why doesn't? And yet still, him don't realize 11 out of the 12 sectors decline. Him don't realize the poverty moved from 11.4 to 12.4 under this GLP leadership. Him don't realize 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. Right? And yet still, him didn't even know the Minister of Finance they are projecting for the next 3 years at 0.1 to 1% growth. Him never know this thing now. So when him come on with this monologue, because I can't say it's a dialogue, he's come on with this monologue to make it look like it's a utopia society Jamaica is. These people are not feeling the effect on the ordinary persons on the ground now. So he is doing more harm than good. Because right now, because he's bombarding the airwaves, people get tired of his narrative. And
just listen to this caller, and you say the man get more confused. He sent a message in, and he's asking me to read it. So I'm going to read. Yes, I'm going to read it. I am not, and because I said, listen, if he want to have me on his program as a guest to discuss a particular issue, I will oblige. However, he is saying to me, I am not well, make your point, caller, because we have 3 minutes. So make the point, and then I can comment afterwards.
Okay. No, I'm done, man. Just continue to do the good work and just continue to put it out there, because they are not in touch with what is going on the people. Because when a man losing money, hard-earned money, it's when a man losing money now, even the bank, even when you go NCB and this bank and you put in your money and you have to scam and take your money and you can't get it and you have a way to get back money, and these are retirement money and these are money for your kids. It's hard for your prime minister to come out who don't say nothing at all about these things, where people look up to. There are persons people look up to for a certain responsibility for guidance. And these persons don't say nothing. It make it, whatever you say after that to come to and say, okay, everything's going to be okay. Nothing not going to be okay until it's tangible. So you have a great day.
All right, my friend. Good. All right. So thanks a lot for the call there. We continue to take your calls, but we'll take the remainder of the call off to the break. We're coming up to the 11 o'clock break. And just to remind you that we're in the hour that is sponsored by our friends at Wellington Dental over there in Spanish Town, Wellington Street to be exact. Say hi to Dr. Palmer and her team there. All right, so let me just read this quickly, if time permits. Marlon sending this message. I am not going to invite you on my program as any guest. It is an open program. Call in like everyone else. Do you think you are too big to call in to talk radio? Oh, let me guess. You consider yourself a tapanaris. That's a part of the darn nonsense. Because I am exercising decorum and decency, Marlon, right? If I'm on the road and, for example, you're on air and an accident happened or something bad happened, something that is of concern, by all means, I would consider it my duty to say, listen, I'm a part of Newstalk, so let's give you that breaking story and so on. But for me to be taking up phone and calling you, for what? Oh, please, let's go to the 11 o'clock break. So come.
The preceding hour was brought to you by Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town.
Corruption is rampant at the highest levels of this government. You will remember during my budget presentation when they tried to prevent me from saying some critical things about governance, even shutting down the sitting of Parliament. Well, I went on the street and I said what I had to say, and I will say it here again. The failure to disclose the identity of the so-called illicit 6 MPs who are under investigation by the Integrity Commission for illicit enrichment remains a festering sore, only made worse by the Prime Minister's gag order on cabinet ministers speaking publicly on these matters. But wait, comrades, I have to rewrite that part because it is no longer 6. It has gone to 8. So let me say it again. The failure to disclose the identity of the so-called illicit 8 MPs who are under investigation by the Integrity Commission remains a festering sore, only made worse by the Prime Minister's gag order on his cabinet ministers and MPs speaking publicly on these matters. Comrades, I had to hurry up and say that a second time, because before we reach and finish here today, maybe it will move from 8 to 12, the way how the number of labor rights illicits seems to multiply like gremlins. We will put a stop to such shenanigans. We will change the law so that all Integrity Commission reports must be published on Parliament website within a short time, perhaps 24 hours of being sent to Parliament, so all Jamaicans can read those reports. Comrades, it is time to change these things. Accountability and transparency matter, and that is change. When the PNP forms government, our job is to create an environment in which Jamaicans can thrive and achieve their versions of the Jamaican dream.
To see my therapist.
The next PNP government will also make lands available to the National Housing Trust for qualified contributors so they can build their own homes. From day one, we are going to restore the core mandate of the National Housing Trust, which was the baby of Michael Joshua Manley. We will stop the extraction of capital from the National Housing Trust. It was an emergency measure. It was supposed to only last for 4 years, and it has now continued for over 12 years. And we will return to providing affordable houses for people who need to buy or build a home. We plan a comprehensive review of all laws relating to housing to find ways to make housing more affordable for all Jamaicans. These initiatives are all about balancing the books and the people's lives, something that Sister P always spoke about and believed in. Investment in human development must be the key. It must be the key. And when it comes to education, the People's National Party's conviction remains the same. Education, education, education is at the top of our priority list. We are committed to building an education system that is inclusive, equitable, and excellent. Bold steps and real investment are needed to ensure that every child from the earliest years through to tertiary education has the opportunity to succeed.
For NPR News, I'm Sam Greenglass in Atlanta.
The plan, and we are ready. Today, I reaffirm our party's commitment to excellence in education. Our approach to early childhood development will provide performance-based incentives for early childhood facilities to give them additional resources to improve standards. At the primary and secondary levels, we will implement a comprehensive program that is targeted and provides targeted support to each aspect of the curriculum. Expanding access to tertiary education is also a critical part of the mix. I have long advocated for the removal of guarantors for student loans, a policy that this government has eventually adopted, and it was a significant step forward. And we are in full support of that, because we put the interests of Jamaican people first. But as the party of ideas and implementation, we must take this further. We believe education must not be a burden of debt, but a bridge to a better future. We will make student loans more borrower-friendly. Graduates will only begin to repay their student loans once they are employed, and their monthly payments will be capped at an affordable percentage of their monthly income. Teachers are the backbone of the education system, and we must show that we truly value our teachers, and we must do whatever is necessary to persuade them to stay in our education system. A student loan forgiveness program will be provided to our teachers based on their years of service in the system. And what we have in mind is that 1 year of payments on their student loan will be forgiven for every year that they remain employed in the public education system. Last year, Jamaica embarked upon a formal process of constitutional reform. The people were excluded from the design of the process, and the people did not trust it. The PNP is very clear on our positions on points of principle. Our representatives on the committee that they established did not sign the report of that committee because we did not agree, and we do not agree with some of its recommendations. And I will share some of those issues with you now. First, the reformed constitution will establish the role of a president to replace the Governor General. We have no problem with that. The president will play a critical role in appointments to sensitive positions of state. And that president must be perceived as independent of partisan politics. The president must enjoy the trust and confidence of the society as a whole. Therefore, if there is no consensus between the government and the opposition on who the person should be as president, the PNP does not support the appointment being made by a simple majority vote in Parliament. That effectively is what the majority of that committee have recommended. That would compromise the independence, trust, and confidence that the president must enjoy. And I say, no way, that is not in the interest
and
of
indeed,
Jamaica.
we are simulcasting with Hit FM out of Trelawney and also Caribbean Vibe Radio, and indeed the Wayne Hall Network. We are also up on the Make We Talk YouTube channel. And, you know, the saying goes that the youth shall lead them. And the front page of the Gleaner this morning is quite interested, saying, silent protests. Students demand end to child abuse, urges youth to speak up for themselves. And I want to commend that as well. And let me just also say in the same breath, we need to have other persons across the length and breadth of Jamaica, academia, the church, and other civil society group basically join the fray and speak up. There are just too many things that are happening in this country that, you know, we need to basically push back on and so on. And guess what? We must push back on these things, whether it is the PNP or the JLP form the government. We have one government at a time, and we have been seeing so many things that are just happening in the country that are just bad for governance. Can't be said it's good governance at all. All right. Emotional send-off for Usain Bolt's dad. And we're seeing the pallbearers here carrying the coffin. And that's a part of the topical discussion here this morning. I did say, and I repeating that, you know, it is all well and good somebody can attend a funeral, but prime ministers are not like you and I, that we can just see a funeral going and bomb rush it. And obviously, there was no arrangement and no space for Bruce Gold. Not Bruce Golden. Bruce was well accepted. He was embraced, and also Babsy was embraced. So obviously, there's no love lost down there by people who were at the funeral. And I have some messages that is coming in out of Trelawney. Okay, remember that Hussein and his father, they are Trelawney people. So I have some messages there. Stick and stay with me. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, welcome, caller.
Obi.
Yes, Marsha, how are you again?
Not to touch back base with you.
Yes.
Marlon is not a dunce. He chose to be dunce conveniently. But let me remind him, a man who understands protocol. When the late Clifford Campbell passed on,
yes.
You know why Mr. Seaga refused to go to the funeral?
Tell the world.
Since Marlon believes that anybody just like Prime Minister just get up and go funeral. So Marlon, Edward Seaga refused to go because he was not invited. Don't get up and talk garbage of people at Marlon. Look over there, we know the history. We know Jamaica. And some mistake did make why Edward Seaga, somehow with the invitation and whatever. But Seaga just tried to show you that the office of the Prime Minister is not just a simple office.
True.
You know, just do as you like and go. So, you know that I attend a funeral from members of Mark Walling constituents. You were at that funeral, I saw you there, right? You realize that the leader of the opposition, his seat was reserved, right? When you hold certain office, you need to understand certain things, Marlon. And the Prime Minister was not invited. And I noticed Marlon used a metaphor when he said that you run like a wounded dog. Prime Minister also said the PNP behaving like dog will run down vehicle. Well, let me use back one for him now. Where dogs are not invited, bones are not provided.
Thank you.
And that's why no seat was reserved for the Prime Minister. He was not invited. Each Prime Minister. When you have media was like CBS, CNN, and Al Jazeera, all of them people, to the fastest man in the world, great legend like Usain Bolt, when you have them media house, they're around you, right? You know, the Prime Minister, not just mad, we're just walking and sitting like any normal person. Prime Minister, the office is big.
It looks embarrassing. It really looks embarrassing. Because the people are now going to go away. As a matter of fact, I tell you something. It would suit the Prime Minister better had he stayed away.
Stayed away?
Because with him turn up under such a cloud and embarrassment, then he give further to international media.
Of course. He should not be there. He was not invited, right? Nobody talk about you invite people at funeral. That's nonsense. That's nonsensical argument. Come on, man. We need to do better than that. Marlon, shame you know better. Don't make Kingston College look like a dunce then turn out, man. Come on, Marlon. Prime Minister was not invited. You remember when China COVID? Pana your yard. Me go on here, sir.
All right, thanks a lot, Marsh. All right, so there you have it, Marlon. And there are some messages that I want to share with you, but I think we're having other callers. So we'll take the calls if they're coming in while we go through the messages. All right, so just bear with me. I'm having a little bit of issue here with this TikTok thing here. So the numbers to call 876-212-9824. Remember, we are simulcasting with our partners fitfmja.com. We're also up on the Caribbean Vibe Radio and indeed Wayne Hall Network, and also on the Make We Talk YouTube channel. We're also on the Conrad OB TikTok page. Having a little bit of issue there now, so I may have to just log out there and log back in on the TikTok. So just bear with me. All right, so the messages here Let me go into some of these out of Trelawny. There are some more messages that come in from Marlon. Oh, I'm getting a beautiful message here from Zalika Jess out of Northeast St. Elizabeth. She is listening and watches. She sent me a beautiful picture here with both of us yesterday, and she said, "Thank you so much for coming yesterday, my dear friend. You filled my heart with so much joy. I don't usually like surprise, but this was indeed a beautiful surprise." Oh, my dear friend Zalika Jess, I'm indeed happy that I had basically graced the stage with you, and you were pleasantly surprised, and you enjoy that surprise. I mean, it was just so amazing how we hugged each other yesterday in the church when she walked in and she saw me there. All right. There's also some other messages. Let me go there. Let me go there quickly. Wow. Let me see what's going on here. Already coming out of some messages coming out of Trelawny here. Somebody was saying to me that the voice was clear, no background noise. Thanks a lot there. And so someone saying that Matt Neal, that's Dr. Wickham Matt Neal, that he was very much at the funeral yesterday. And Dr. Matt Neal was at the funeral yesterday. Members were at grave digging and funeral service. PNP representative who are members of the church were in their numbers. PNP was well represented and active, not just funeral day, but from day one, offering support to Mrs. Jennifer and the family. No PR stunt down here. All right, so Trelawny people, Marlon, they are saying that, listen, you're saying it's their own and they're not into this PR stunt. Someone is also saying, run Marlon. All right, so all right, those are some of the information that we're getting there. And also, the lines are open. Let me remind you of the numbers. 876-212-9824. That's 876-212-9824. And also 876-462-0919. Those are the numbers to participate on the program. Remember, you can call us and talk to us about anything from wherever in the world you are. All right. We are happy to take your calls. All right. So come on in and express your views. We're back up. We're up on the TikTok live as well. Conrad OB, send me some love there, some tap up, and let's go through with your program, your mid-morning number one fix, right? I have a theory. I have something that I want to share with you, and I'm sure that you will find favor with it. So don't change the dial. There is something that I really want to share with you. I gave you a synopsis of it before, but I think I'm able to give you even more on it. All right, so let's see. And Jeffrey is asking, what is the WhatsApp number? The WhatsApp number, 876. Well, you can call us on any one of the two numbers that I mentioned. You can call in on 876-212-9824, 876-462-0919. We'll take your WhatsApp call there. But also, if you wish to send us a WhatsApp message, you can send a WhatsApp message to 876-594-7045. All right, so that's what's trending there. Let's see if there are some other messages. Yes, there are lots more. All right. Marlon is saying that I won't call his program, and he goes further to say that you only speak when you are in an advantageous position, i.e., as example, when you are hosting or where a fellow comrade is hosting. I am daring you to call in to my program, I want an engagement with you as a caller. All right, the same engagement that you want with me as a caller, you can have it with me now in whatever other capacity. But that's not productive, Marlon. I'm not really quite interested in that. The other day, Colin wanted to engage us, and we were in a forum together where he did the decent thing, and he invited us to basically give our, made our contribution there. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, welcome, caller.
Morning, Conrad.
Hey, hi, Africa, how you doing, man?
You know, I'm present and I give thanks for it.
Respect.
It's
Your
good
voice
to be
sound
here,
a
you know?
little bit hoarse, Africa. Sound like you need to have some honey and lime, man. What's going on?
No, man, me not.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, you sound different now. You sound like
Yeah,
your
man.
regular self there now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that the sister and everyone in the studio, you know.
Yeah, man, they're hearing. She's hearing.
You love to call of them too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You listen to them.
Yeah, man, you're doing that. Mm-hmm.
Canada wants some unity in Jamaica, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
We know it's not going to easily happen before the election, but we really want some togetherness with the people, you know, man.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Bit kind of Conrad. Bit out the road, man. No caring or no sharing. You know, so
well, put it this way, Africa. Every country, look for leadership from the top, say, i.e., your prime minister and so on. And the unity that you call for, in my humble view, I think that unity was damaged last week when JFJ asked for person to wear black to basically say to the country that, listen, we're seeing too many killings. For whatever the reason, we're seeing too many killings of our young men. And, we're black to say that, listen, we need more accountability, i.e. we need to see the body-worn cameras and so on being outfitted by police. And one must remember that all the dots were dotted and the I's were dotted and the T was crossed, right?
We had a matter about the mask too.
Those things. But hurry up, Africa. I have some more callers, so let me go on, and then I can talk about.
So when you say, you say anyone who divide the nation, a judgment for them, man.
All right, Papa.
What me say, whatever, Conrad?
Judgment.
Anybody be a divide the nation around here, so in a Jamaica where we get independent 1962, therefore 1944. And 400 years worth of slavery. And we not get our own yet, you know.
You see it?
We not get our own yet, you know, Conrad.
Yes.
And people on that divide way. A judgment for them.
All right, Africa. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, man, it's good to be here, yeah?
Every time. All right, let's continue to take the calls as we build out the program. We run up until 12 o'clock. So I was saying that, the PM, who is first among equal, right? He should set the tone, or he must set the tone, and for him to basically done in blue. And that's a clear line of division that we saw in the country last week. And, it's not only me alone, Cesar. The religious leaders are asking the question and so on. We're getting a message here from Canada, and Lando is saying that Conrad does moral work? If so, which ministry? He seems to have a lot of time on his hands to be calling almost all talk shows. Well, maybe that's moral work, maybe they put him somewhere beside a minister, wear him there collecting taxpayers' money as an advisor, so he probably has a lot of time on his hands. So I don't know. Marlon will have to basically address that and explain. Are you being paid from the purse of the Jamaican taxpayers, Marlon? That's what the people are asking. You can send in a message to answer that one. All right? Hello, caller?
Hello, good morning.
Hi, morning. How are you doing?
I am good. Conrad, this is Jeffrey Tavares.
Oh, hi, Jeffrey. How are you doing?
I am here looking and living, my brother. My question this morning is this.
Hold on, Jeffrey. Let me introduce you properly. Jeffrey is one of the main hosts and YouTube channel. He hosts a very popular Make We Talk YouTube program. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Yes, my question this morning is this. You know, we sit here and my statement I should say, we sit here and listen to Senator Morgan day after day, night after night, spreading his stupidity. Is it that they take the Jamaican people for a bunch of kunumunu?
I love that word.
Or is it that they have...
I hear it.
It's true. Is it that they take Jamaican people for a bunch of kunumunu?
Yes. And for persons, Jeffrey, because you know we are being listened globally. For persons across the globe who are not so familiar with that word, it means taking us for idiots, for stupid, and for fools.
Right.
Yes,
right.
Jeffrey, go ahead.
My question and my challenge to Senator Marlon Morgan this morning. If you want to speak and you have a free reign to speak, come on the Make We Talk program or the Vatican program. Why are you afraid to come on our programs? Why are you afraid? You run off of Portland Spice TV a couple of days ago. Because what? According to you, we're members of the People's National Party. Well, the last time I checked, I'm not a member of any political party, but Jamaica and Jamaica come first for me.
Yes.
But what we will not do, Senator Morgan, we will not allow you to continue spreading the lies that you continue spreading in this country. We will not allow you to do it, sir. And if you call yourself a patriotic Jamaican, then think as one and speak for the Jamaican people, not for your party.
And to tell people that their tummy, their belly is full when they're starving. That's what he's doing, right? I tell you. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
And that is wickedness. You have Jamaica. Why don't Marlon Morgan travel the length and breadth of St. Elizabeth? Until now, majority of persons that haven't gotten any relief from burial. They have no relief from the burial program.
Yes.
The former premier of the Cayman Islands came to Jamaica and donated how much $1,000 CAI dollars to the relief program in burial for St. Elizabeth. Have the people gotten those money?
So we need accountability.
Why don't you speak of those things, Margaret? Of course we need accountability. They keep on saying that $3 trillion is accountable for. Until now, nobody explained to us where the money disappeared to. What happened?
Absolutely. All they do is come out, jump out and say we're saying that they thief $3 trillion. And that was never the conversation. We're saying that it is unaccounted for. And the AG, that wonderful, hard-working, beautiful young woman, Pamela Monroe Ellis, she put that out there. It is unaccounted for.
And not only that, Conrad, my good friend, somebody who I look up to, Jeanette Calder, did not say nobody thief any money. Jeanette Calder came and explained to the people of Jamaica that we must take stand, that we must call for accountability in this country.
I had her here, Jeffrey, and that's my recollection as well. That's my recollection
so until Marlon Morgan stops spreading his lies and his propaganda to the Jamaican people, because we are no fool. And stop putting politics in this. Go and check my record. I'm not a member of any political party. I'm a Jamaican and Jamaica come first for me. And we must put this country first because this country is in serious problem. We're in serious problem in this country. When our people can't afford to buy food, the people of St. Elizabeth don't have any roof over their head until now. Some farmers need some help, and until now, you, Marlon Morgan, and your party can't help the people of St. Elizabeth. You come and chat to nonsense.
It is the parish and the constituency of the agriculture minister. You know, I tell you.
And I want Marlon Morgan, Senator Marlon Morgan, to come and tell me. But what I'm saying is I'm telling a lie. The people of St. Elizabeth is having problems. They don't get any relief from burial. Majority of them are any relief from burial. When they call certain people, they say, you're not a member of the Labour Party. Some people right now, I have my program, my Make We Talk program, have allowed a lady, and I don't talk my business, to get a roof over her head because her roof went off.
Jeffrey, I'm up on the final break. 11:30. Let's go there. All right, let's go to.
All right, my friend. You take care, man.
All right, all the best. Thanks for weighing in. All right, let's go to 11:30.
Yeah, man. Cool. Bye-bye.
Newstalk 93 FM. Heard everywhere.
Time come now. Time come. We're tired of the scandal and corruption in government. Time come. Our progress we are deal with for the long run. With BNP the betterment. Must come.
The time by the People's National Party is.
Contact Newstalk 93 FM today via phone at 876-927-1660, extension 2475, or 876-427-9955. Email us at newstalk93fmsales@gmail.com. Visit our website at www.newstalk93fm.net.
Bag it and pin it, every rubbish in a pan. No dirty up the place, this up we island. So keep Jamaica. Say make we do it, keep Jamaica clean. Make you listen to me please. No plastic, magnolia blowing at the breeze. Proper garbage, disposal, recycle plastic. Now make it full up in the streets. Bag it and pin it, every rubbish in a pan. No dirty up the place, this up we island. So keep Jamaica. Say make we do it.
Are you looking for exceptional dental care? Then look no further, because Wellington Dental is here to serve you. We offer dental care for both adults and children. At Wellington Dental, we know that a visit to the dentist might be mind-boggling, but don't let that stop you from getting the dental care you need. We have trained therapists to help alleviate your anxiety and make you feel so relaxed you feel like you're at home. Wellington Dental, located at 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. We look forward to serving you.
Kenmore Shoe Manufacturing Company Limited, located in Greendale, Spanish Town. We manufacture custom-made clothes and shoes. For the best quality in uniform, corporate wear, safety, and school shoes, visit Kenmore Shoe Manufacturing Company Limited. Kenmore, the best for sure. Call us today at 876-632-8018. Email us at ken_MOR2005@gmail.com. Kenmore, the best for sure.
Empire Group of Companies is now in the heart of New Kingston to serve you better. At 31 Tobago Avenue, get Empire Stationery and Office Supplies, Empire Restaurant and Hotel Supplies, and Empire Med and Scientific Supplies. Free same-day delivery island-wide. Visit their showroom today. Call 876-906-1965-6 or WhatsApp 876.
We need a more balanced and resilient economy in an era of growing food insecurity. So look out for the transformation of agriculture and the blue economy, our maritime economy, to drive rural development. We have to invest in farm roads, in cold storage facilities, in irrigation systems. We have to deepen the use of technology, marketing support, and expanded access to affordable loans for our farmers.
Today at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Newstalk 93 FM.
Last year, Jamaica embarked upon a formal process of constitutional reform.
Please, Mr. Knight, please.
I'm suggesting that you are pathologically mendacious.
Mr. Knight, that is an improper suggestion.
Why?
And an improper...
After he just said what he just said?
Yes.
It's pathological.
Mr. Knight, please continue your cross-examination if you so intend to.
He was referring to what you said, a ruling you made.
And he laughed at you.
And laughed. You have a pathological condition when it comes to telling the truth. And I'm suggesting to you that you have misled, You have conspired and you have deceived the parliament, the people of this country, and the inquiry, this commission, the diaspora and every Jamaican, and that you, Prime Minister, should pack your bags and go.
Mr. Chairman.
The Prime Minister just needs to fly the gate. Call it, Andrew. Call it. And Iman will sound the trumpet. The Prime Minister just needs to fly the gate. Call it,
FM, which is truly Conrad O'Brien, the fireman. We go up until 12 midday. We're also simulcasting with our partners at fitfmja.com, 96.7 on the FM band, and also our friends at Make We Talk YouTube channel, and also the Wayne Hall Network, and indeed Caribbean Vibe Radio. On the front page of the Observer, we're seeing a wonderful, beautiful picture here of Usain sprint legend, Usain Bolt, and his mom. A promise from Usain Bolt as hundreds attend his dad's funeral. And there is the word in here said, "I've got mom now." All right, so he is making that pledge to really be there with his mother all time, you know, and we're seeing a lot, so many pictures all over the place. You know, people are showing solidarity with Mr. Bolt. You're saying that is, and healthcare workers shortage looms. That PAHO projects crisis by 2030. Tufton says Jamaica moving to avoid deficit. All right, that's out of the Observer. And in today, yesterday's Gleaner as well, we saw a picture here with Senator Lambert Brown, PNP Senator Lambert Brown, and it says $100 billion showdown. IDT, that's the Industrial Tribunal, to preside over the largest wage dispute in its 50 years as junior doctors fight for overtime pay. We're watching all of those. Let's go to the phone line. Welcome, caller.
Good morning, Conrad.
Hey, John, how are you doing?
I am not doing too bad.
Yes?
You know, when I say that I take record offense to with Mr. The President JP, the President.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he made a speech yesterday, and he has acknowledged, even from his side, that the PNP incoming education minister stood with the teachers on this bill that is trying to criminalize teachers.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
You know,
I think it was quite unfortunate from President Smith, and you know, it doesn't mean that I keep on saying it's one government at a time, and if there's something that is wrong, you don't have to basically pull in the opposition to make your point. You don't have to do that because, sorry, John, I heard the point man, the minister, shadow minister of education, Damian Crawford, out there batting for the teachers with every energy in his body. So I don't know why he did that.
It could have done a talk show host, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Every time talk about both parties, it's one government at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't try to confuse the situation because right now, from the city bill, we have been saying for a long time that for me, everyone start holding the government is trying to criminalize the teachers. Is that as a matter of fact, all sector, the government trying to bring in some stringent rules and trying to criminalize them. That trying to make the thing look much easier for them so that they will be more relaxed to make sure them do the work. The government is right now, more teachers will be leaving the classroom this year because of that bill. I can't tell them now. What children might suffer? Because of what you say, about suffer. My brother, I have realized that a lot of people have been owed money by the government.
Just one step before you move on there, John, because everybody know how I do my work here. To the minister's credit, Minister of Education credit, Dr. Dixon, she said that, listen, she is in no rush to pass the bill. So let's see if we can take her at her word. And she said that she would never pass a bill that basically go against teachers because she herself was a teacher. So hold on, John. So the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So let's keep our eyes
I got to my brother. I cannot trust this lady because I have heard people like private sector say they cannot believe that they're still living in the private sector. So they should come out and talk the time with drivers. When drivers got Pika, I get information and Jamaica's soon to be Prime Minister, Mark Bolin. And she come out and defended him. For them trying to say, no. This lady, she's trying too hard to be a labor right. Too hard to be a labor right. But my brother.
Yeah, quickly, John, can we have some other one?
Junior doctors, 1.4 billion. Local contractors, another 35 billion. Our teachers, 3.4 billion. Police, upward of 5 billion. We can't understand this government.
But Mr. Wallace said the government is awash with money. So I don't understand.
What does that mean? Look here. The US dollar, and obviously, if you are selling US on the black market, you can go to $200 for one. Depends on how much you have. Because if you have 100 and up, you get $200 one.
But officially it's 160 right now, about there.
Okay, but because we know you have no economic can grow at a level when the central bank are pumping upwards to 90 million US dollar in the market every week.
Every week. All right, John.
Let me say the economy is not can't sustain itself.
Yeah, John.
Time to go.
All right, John. Take care. Bye-bye. That's John Paula there. You know, of course, you know that he always weigh in. I keep on saying that, you know, some people dismiss John, but John makes a lot of sense, you know. He talks sense. Listen to him. Hello. Welcome, caller.
Good morning, Mr. O'Brien.
Hi, morning. How are you doing?
I am going good. Praise the Lord.
Thank God. Thank God for Jesus. As Vincent Morrison Trade Unions would say, thank God for Jesus. Yes?
Right. Two topic. I tune in and me listen to your program. Get me some things done.
Who am I speaking to, please? Remind me of the name, please.
Miss P. And call me.
Miss P, yes. Yes, Miss P.
All right. Listen now. It seems like Morgan take the whole Jamaica to fool like them. No, listen this. As growing up, a prime minister, a pastor, Gigi, you call it dignitary in some farm.
Yeah, man, they are dignitaries, yes?
Right? Right. Usain Bolt is a dignitary.
Yes, he is.
Okay. Now, if you ever invite other dignitaries of your whatever it is, whether funeral or whatever, you provide special seat, you reserve seat for them. And when we were growing up, and our prime minister is attending whether funeral, whatever it is, you would hear them say the most honorable prime minister, such and such, and his wife are here. They arrive and they'll be sitting here. Isn't that so?
You're absolutely correct. Yes.
No. All right. For the layman term now, Usain Bolt has lost his money. The fund did name Wesley and Jennifer.
Yes, they are called.
It's alleged that the prime minister mixed up in it. However, it's alleged.
Alleged, yeah.
He is the prime minister of the country. And he does little to nothing to see that the young man get back his money. So in a Jamaican term now, the whole world and the whole of the Jamaican, just the few labor right where say them salute him as you know him. So why do you turn up there?
Well, Miss P, I know, and I'm happy that you use the word alleged because all of this are allegation. But certainly, what we can deduce from yesterday's, from the funeral, it seems as if there was some tension there and things don't seem kosher. And the fact of the matter is that people are looking at it from the point of view that the Prime Minister had money in the said organization and, you know, he was able to retrieve his money before all of this took place. So people are looking at it from that vantage point. But we continue to use the word allegations, yes.
All right, listen with me now. There's a man in Jamaica, a very astute man, named Bobby Finchie Simit. That man trained me like me a soldier.
Yes.
Yeah, he could even Greek. I give me some training, but thank God for him. Listen me. A person does not have to open his or her mouth to show you that they are not with you.
That's
a person will laugh with you and grinning, but behind the grin, not in it. Okay? And the reason, my opinion, the reason why both no irate is because the person will miss and he respect his dad and his funeral I feel I go all over the globe. Okay? Who cannot come in person, them link up and them watch what happening, don't it?
Yeah, man, they join and the various
all right. Now they gonna call the man era. Right? You never know say my era when you take away money. It's alleged. You know say my era when everything bust out and up till long you can't get no. If you love Usain Bolt and you respect Usain Bolt and our Prime Minister, give it the cruel report. That is one. And and the next thing, you know, somebody, you know, I go to college.
Yeah, rock for me quickly. I have a few others that I want to take before. And you know, we'll call us at 12. Yeah?
What does it take for you to be a senator?
Well, to be a senator, it doesn't really take anything that whether you're being appointed by the opposition leader or by the Prime Minister. In this case, Marlon was appointed by the Prime Minister of Jamaica. The Prime Minister has about 13, can appoint 13, and the opposition appoint 8. So pretty much that's it.
Make I tell you something though, now layman term. To appoint a man like Marlon Morgan at the Senate, that for sure you say, Jamaica do.
Well, that's your
that's my opinion.
That's your opinion.
So if the Labour Party win back, you're gonna see push up there, rat bat up there.
All
right. So that is my opinion.
All right, Miss P, take care. Blessings. Thanks for the input. I really think that Marlon is somebody who has the trappings that can be a good senator. He has the trappings that can be a good senator. However, what happened? He chooses to behave in a buffoonery manner. You know, he chooses to basically spread all sorts of innuendos, lies even, and so on. And he doesn't believe in looking at things rational. He's just an out-and-out rock-stone labor man that believe that, listen, he must come out and defend and support all sort of nonsense, and indeed some people would say nastiness in some case. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, welcome, caller.
Your caller, Jeffrey Tavares, OB.
Marlon, I am not
entertaining. This is a legal matter.
Marlon, I am not entertaining you. I am not entertaining you, Marlon.
An apology to me forthwith,
Marlon,
so that I do not have to escalate this matter further. This is a legal matter. Jeffrey Tavares, as you did a while ago as well, defamed me essentially on the program this morning by referring to me as a liar. Just a while ago with this caller, following the call from this caller a while ago. Okay, now it will be for you to prove in a court of law and not bring Newstalk into dispute. It will be for you to prove in a court of law that I have told lies. You will have that burden of proof. Okay. Alright, so you and Jeffrey Tavares will have that burden of proof. However, let me throw the opportunity to Jeffrey Tavares to withdraw his commentary regarding me being a liar.
Right? Right?
You are under an obligation using Newstalk's platform, and you should not be bringing the station into disrepute. It is a legal matter.
You're the person who bring the station into disrepute.
This is a legal matter, and you are being called on to apologize to me forthwith, as is Jeffrey Tavares.
Listen,
you used your platform this morning to facilitate and broadcast commentary about me telling lies and a lie, and you will not be able to prove any such thing.
You will live until you reach 50, 100 years. You will never get an apology from me for nothing, because I have said nothing.
All right, we will exercise. I will avail myself
can we just continue the conversation? Go ahead, man, and stop that nonsense. You just want chat. All right? So you're talking because you have mouth. I don't know why you're coming here and trying to bring the program into disrepute. You have tell many of untruth and lies, and they can be proven. So be my guest. All right. We have 9 minutes to go into the program, and if you wish to call, the number is 876-212-9824, 876-462-0919. All right. This is the kind of situation, that this fellow do. This is the thing that he does. And that is why I said at all time, Marlon, I am not interested in having this kind of discourse with you, or having a discussion with you. You're on 2 days per week, as I am. When you're here, you do your thing. I don't call you. I leave you alone, and you run your program. What you do, you come and basically try to take out chunks of the caller's time and so on. That is why I started to limit you very much. It is of no moment. When you are here, you can say what you want to say. All right? Hello, caller.
Yeah. Good morning, Conrad.
Hi, morning. How are you doing, sir? Welcome to the program.
A nice sunshine day. But Conrad, me I say the general election season, you see Michael Mann, I have to debate the whole history of Jamaica.
Yes.
Because it's an important election. You see Michael Manley are the greatest prime minister to me after me evaluate from 1944 to 2025. Based upon the liberation. You understand? The music could come out in 1970, Bob Marley and others,
Yes, and you're not alone in that thought process. A lot of people think so.
Yeah, man, when you jail people try to demonize Michael Manley, and then we said next side I'm out to talk about national housing trust. You understand? When it's socialism and now the best
caller? We lost the caller there. Not hearing anything from him. I don't know what happened. Something seems to have gone awry there. All right. Sorry about that, Mr. Gray. Mr. Gray? Not there. All right. So we're heading up to close the play here. And let me remind you of things that Marlon would say about me, for example, that I am prepared to walk in the blood of Jamaicans to go to Garden House. He didn't just say that about me. He said myself, Mark Golden, Peter Bunting, Jeffrey Tavares, et al. So, those are some other things. But what am I going to do? Take on Marlon and say, bring court case against him for what? Oh, please. Hello, caller?
Yes, Conrad. I'm saying with Michael Manley. When you check out the man of Conrad, coming from the 60s, jail people about I grew at 60s. We born 60s. So we are little boy grew up and we got high school in the 70s.
Yes.
To 80. And Conrad, when you hear jail people about 60s, the real little boy, you go check one old man a country, and I want touch out and live, people with 9, 7 feet, one room they live in and the pit like outside,
That's true.
in Kingston, tenement yard.
That's
where
true.
Man then say, yeah, man, I'm tired for licking a gully man, dying for licking at the here. When PMP build the first set of housing scheme, Dunkirk, and Arnett Garden, you know, say a JLP called, when I'm opposed, Michael call Arnett Garden concrete jungle, so they might be able to take them out of that tenement yard and put them in a concrete jungle. You understand? It was a cussing thing, you know, like a multi-cuss university and call up the what kind of intellectual ghetto, you know? It was the same type of sarcasm, you understand? And when Conrad, when we see JLP now, Kabbalah's thing with Siaga is a man who stick to word in my money. When JLP preach other thing like no to SOE for 40 years and freedom, equal rights and justice, you know, and PM Andrew come and keep, and with the rest of labor right them with him to Mr. Chuck them, Mr. Chang them, Mr. Shaw them, who usually the Pamotia talk about Spy Robinson, SOE and say, you understand? And then come to the
they come full circle. Then, but this is it, and that is why you see people are so impatient and not paying a lot of these guys any mind, because it's the same thing. We know
good man. They should not get no Conrad in eyesight. They should not apologize to Michael Manley.
Yes, hold on.
And Conrad, did the Peter Bunting take JLP to court regarding state of emergency?
Yeah, man, the PNP did. Yes, they did.
All right, and didn't after PNP win, didn't Miss Marlene, etc. Right now, isn't the appeal still pending because JLP still want to keep SOE?
All right, I have to leave you there, Mr. Graham, up on time. Thanks a lot for today. God bless
liberation, you. Michael Mann, this smadification.
All right, my friend. Of course, there's a lot of social legislation that Michael, basically the most honorable Michael Manley, former Prime Minister of Jamaica, the late, brought to the fore that really gave people what is called smadatization, as the late Professor Rex Netterford called it. So, you know, it's very, very interesting to see some of the things. But as I was saying, that one other thing, you know, that people look at, people who can read between the lines and be objective. You know, take for example Jamaica for Justice. Who were behind Jamaica for Justice in terms of its inception and so on? And look at some of those who is now fighting against the organization and actually, you know, talking crap, in my view. Just because the outfit came out and said, listen, we want to ensure that things happen above board. And what? You know, because you do that, you're basically dubbed as supporting terrorists and so on. We have to move away from those things. All right, so seems as if it's closer time. Let me say thanks to our friends at Fit FM, fitfmj.com, also the Wayne Hall Network, and also Caribbean Vibe Radio, Make We Talk, YouTube channel, and all of you who joined us on the Conrad Conrad OB TikTok page. Until you join me again tomorrow, on behalf of producer Tanya Richards, Conrad O'Brien say thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I didn't plan to come on air, you know. I did not plan to come on air. But let me make something categorically clear to that senator down here in Jamaica. I, Jeffrey Tavares, will not apologize to you, she, nor the old lady. Here? I will not apologize to neither you, she, nor the old lady. So bring on the lawsuit all you want. Bring it on. Bring on all the lawsuit you want. In case you don't know, you know where my lawyer is. In case you do not know Senator Morgan, you know where my lawyer is. So bring on all the lawsuit you want. Bring it on. I will not apologize to neither you nor no one in the Parliament of Jamaica. Remember to join the Make We Talk program this evening at 7 p.m. Jamaica time or 8 p.m. US time. Come on over and listen to an exciting episode of the Current Affair program. You know where my lawyer is, Senator Morgan. So you can go through my lawyer and make sure. Only man I say to you. You have a good afternoon. You hear me? Hey, Miss P, what's up?
But Marlon, get back go sue. Marlon, when you big gut. When you go sue yourself, you have knowledge. That is the reason why I said when people like you become a senator in our parliament, the country is doomed because you start doing something. Look man away, go play them. You come and disrespect Jeffrey and Brian about Sue. I say you love Sue. I'll go away. Remember, Marlon, it is alleged that you was working at Ministry of Education when you owe too much $1 million missing. So all of you do sing years supper. But when you don't come back here and talk this bull crap, it's going to make the Jamaican voters them labor right PFP who don't decide to vote get more angry what we don't know.
All right, Miss P, I have an next call coming in.
Right? I'm going to look for your shoe chicken and syrup, man. I can't sing for.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Senator Morgan, you know who my lawyer is, and you know who my lawyer is. They can bring on all the lawsuit you want. Bring on all the lawsuit you want. Damn idiot. You must think I'm afraid of you. You think I'm afraid of you? Senator Morgan, send me a message. You engage in communication on Newstalk 93 FM of every date and amount of others. Think that you defame me and referring to me as a liar. You're a damn liar, then I'll say it again. You're a damn liar. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Make It Talk program. You're live.
Good morning or good afternoon on my side, Jeffrey. Jeffrey,
yes.
I vexed because I mash him up the other day.
Yeah, man.
On Saturday, on Saturday, them Rattigan mash him up.
Yeah, man. Done him again. I can done him this evening. I can done him again this evening. You're breaking up. You're breaking up, darling. You're breaking up. Repeat again. Can you breaking up? Repeat what you said.
Oh, no, I'm saying he's upset with you and Conrad because you guys were on the program with on Portland Spice, ain't it? So I vexed him up and I'm still up in our feelings. Nothing I'm gonna finish, go bury him.
Boy, you don't go soon. Go soon, man. Come. Why have gone soon? Damn idiot. All right, my darling. Our next call coming in. Thank you. Hey, my pastor. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Sir Jeffrey. Yeah, don't make them fool you or try to intimidate you.
Intimidate who? Me?
That's what he's doing. He's playing intimidation tactics. Got the truth hurt, you know.
But hello.
And so when you speak truth to power, them can't angry.
You know what I said to him? He said to me, he said he's gonna sue us. So I said to him, he knows my lawyer. So bring the lawsuit.
He can't sue him or anyone in the government cannot sue nobody because they're public figures. That's the first thing he needs to understand. He's illiterate. If their government, they're liable to scrutiny and criticism. You have a constitutional right of free speech. Any law I have to do that without run him and tell him say not have no case. So don't make him try to intimidate.
No. He believed by saying he's gonna sue. I'm gonna say, oh my God, Senator.
Yeah, be quiet. Yeah.
Apologize to you.
He's a big wimp. In school you have some big bully that try to bully people, and when them buck up in a real people who can stand up to them start cry and whine. He's a big bully, man. He's a wimp. A little boy in a big man body. That's what he is. And tell him I say so, because we not care. We're not
Hold on for me, Pastor. You want,
yes, sir.
You all want to set up a GoFund for me? Set up a GoFund for this channel, not for me. This channel needs some funds to do some things. Because the election is around the corner. We need some funds to set up the election, to set up things for the election. Hello, Marlon Morgan know who the lawyer is. Go to the lawyer about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make something
clear. They're right around the law every Friday. So what is this problem?
So, damn fool. Anyway, my friend, thank you.
Yeah, man. Blessing, respect.
Cool,
Have a blessed day.
All right,
bye-bye.
Me must apologize. Apologize to you. Apologize. I find this very funny. So okay, since you said that we have lied on you, Mr. Morgan, why don't you come on over the platform this evening then? Let us trash it out. Tell me the lies that I said on you. If you want to come on the program, Senator Morgan, you know my number. WhatsApp me and tell me, say, okay, I'll come on the program. Let us talk it out. Since I tell lies on you. Anyway, people, I gotta run. Thank you all very much for coming on. Until you hear my voice again. Jeffrey, I trouble me, I trouble you. Oh! No, I'm not afraid of Marlon Morgan. Marlon Morgan is just... hello. Me have reggae girl can back me, you know. Me have reggae girl can back me. But on a very serious note, though. Join us this evening at 8 p.m. US time, 7 p.m. Jamaica time for an exciting episode of the Make We Talk program. Until you hear my voice again, may God bless you. May God bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Senator Morgan, you are the one who said we don't swim through the blood of the Jamaican people. Hold on, I'm going to take that one here. So, labor right.
Jeffrey.
Yo.
Let me catch you before I go. When Marlon left school, you see, teacher stamp one paper, give my DBL. What is DBL? Damn blasted liar. He knows my name, Marsh. He knows me very well. He can add me to the suing list. And then he can come and confirm where Andrew Wallace did have a band in SSL. And the band mature. And at that money, Andrew Wallace said get out. That's why he could have taken out money out of SSL.
But hold on,
Tell him to come and explain that.
Hold on, so labor. If the senator know what I know about the education thing with Grace McLean, he shut him out.
Shut up.
Anyway.
Don't say nothing.
Don't say
nothing more. Make Marlon galang.
Have a good afternoon.
You take care, sir.
All right, my brother. Cool. But you know, so bring it on, man. Have a good afternoon, everyone. See you all later. Make we trash out this. Good afternoon, everybody.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk. People.
You can turn the weight. I will never apologize to you.